February 1959. 9 experienced hikers entered the Ural Mountains of Soviet Russia. They were young, they were trained, they had done this before. None of them ever came back, and what investigators found at their camp has never been explained. The group was led by Igor Dyatlov. He was 23 years old, a passionate hiker, a natural leader, someone who had completed dozens of mountain expeditions. With him were 8 others, students and graduates from the Ural Polytechnic Institute. They were not beginners. They were not unprepared. They were exactly the kind of people who should have made it back safely. On January 23, 1959, they set off toward Otorten Mountain. It was supposed to be a 10-day journey. Nobody reported them missing for 3 weeks. When they didn't return on schedule, a search party was sent. What they found on February 26th was deeply disturbing. The tent, still standing, still in place, but it had been slashed open from the inside. Not from outside, from the inside. Someone, or something, had caused the 9 hikers to cut through their own tent and run barefoot into -30-degree snow in the middle of the night, leaving everything behind: their food, their warm clothes, their boots. They ran, and they kept running. The first 2 bodies were found near a pine tree. They were barefoot, dressed only in their underwear. Their hands were burned, as if they had been trying to climb the tree, to see something in the distance, or to escape from something below. 3 more bodies were found between the tent and the tree. They appeared to have been walking back toward the tent, as if they changed their minds, as if they realized going back was better than whatever was out there. But it was the last 4 bodies that truly disturbed investigators. They were found 2 months later, buried under 4 meters of snow. And what the medical examiner found changed everything. 1 woman's tongue was missing. 1 man's eyes were gone. Their skulls and chests had been crushed, with a force equivalent to a car crash. But there were no external wounds, no cuts, no bruises on the skin, as if the damage had happened from the inside. The radiation levels on their clothing were unusually high, and their skin had turned a deep, dark orange. Over the decades, dozens of theories have been proposed. Some said it was a Soviet military experiment gone wrong. Others claimed it was a secret weapon test, something that created pressure waves so powerful they could crush bones without breaking skin. Some pointed to the indigenous Mansi people of the region, who called that mountain Dead Mountain. There were reports of glowing orange orbs seen in the sky that same night by other hikers in the area. The Soviet government classified all files related to the case. They were kept secret for 30 years. When they were finally released, pages were missing. In 2021, the Russian government finally gave an official answer. They said it was an avalanche. The hikers panicked. They cut the tent. They ran. They died of hypothermia. Case closed. But investigators, scientists, and the families of the victims did not accept this, because there was no avalanche debris found at the scene, because the tent was still standing, because no force of snow could remove someone's tongue or crush a chest without leaving a single mark on the skin. The Russian government closed the case, but the questions remain open. 9 people entered Dead Mountain. 9 people never came back. What they saw that night, what made them cut through their tent and run barefoot into the freezing dark, we will probably never know. Some mysteries are not meant to be solved. Some doors are not meant to be opened. Dead Mountain still stands, cold, silent, waiting.